Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Um, how can I say this? So happy Friday. And I do want to say this because I did receive a message from someone and they were like, you were educating people, you were castigating people, and you were kind of implementing, for those who may not know that, House in Virginia is the same thing as in Dyer, right? HIV and AIDS, whatever. And I'm like, I may have used it interchangeably, but I was tired when I did that video. I was very, very pooped. And I also felt like I wanted to get it done with and get that out of the way. And that's just that, right? And so I was speaking, I was explaining myself, and I said I was using those terms interchangeably. But who it's for, those who actually seen it and actually know who and what I'm talking about, they understand it. You guys, I'm gonna try something within a couple of days, and I'm going to get back into the swing of things. It seems like I always say this, so I'm going to get back into it where, I would be on here, I would be live with you guys, and then I would get off. And I'm going to just give something a test run to see, just what it is. I feel like I just have to redo things. I feel like things there's a disconnect somehow, some way between myself and my people that I connect with. And so I just want to clarify from my end, what exactly it is. And so, like I said, I'm going to be checking, experimenting with something over the next few weeks. And of course, when it's done, I'm going to let you guys know exactly what it is. Now, you guys, it is 8:55 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I was just sitting here thinking, right, like I feel like I am energetically recuperating. I feel like I'm energetically recuperating, right? I feel like my energy is up. I feel, my stress levels are very low. Even going into like certain cravings or certain things have definitely shifted out and changed. And that's just what I've been feeling. And something that I was thinking about, because I feel like I always tell you guys this, right? It is important to, give time to yourself, right? And of course, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I feel like I have not had really some real good alone time like I used to have. I do not feel like I've had that in some time. I feel like if I'm not dealing with people in person, I'm dealing with people online. If I'm not dealing with people online, it's a lot going on. Like it's always personal, business, interpersonal, and so here lately, like I said, I've been feeling, like I said, I'm getting my energy back. I'm getting back into the swing of things. And of course I had to, consult with outside people, outside sources, to kind of say, or to see like what is it? Like, what is it? And I think that things have changed. I think things change. I think, when you connect with people, I think when your environment changed, like relocating, your job changed, whatever changed, I feel like sometimes your physical body could adjust to it. Sometimes your mental body could adjust to it. And even sometimes your emotional body could adjust to it. But sometimes this adjustment is not all together at the same time. And so I tell y'all this, and of course, this is, my honest viewpoint. I feel like outside sources, that's where you fight. That's the war, right? That's the strategic. That's where things have to be strategized, right? I think when it comes to insight, when it comes to dealing with like people that you deal with personally, like family and friends, people you deal with on a day-to-day basis, I feel like that has to be like your sanctuary. That has to be your peaceful state. You cannot have stress inside of your inner we're going to say your home. You can have stress within your home and stress outside of your home, right? It cannot, because then of course it puts you into this, survivor mode, and you're in this fight or flight mode. And for me, it's even worse because I'm very sensitive to people's energy. And like I said, I have been connected with outside sources. If you want to say psychologist, therapist, we can do that. But I've been connected with outside sources because, like I said, um, you know, my own stress levels, my own, energy, my own how I feel. I know my own energies, my own thoughts, my own feelings, my own emotions from other people. I think when I deal with people who are not in that same space, they're not in a area, or they're not in the age, or they're not in the era. There you go. The era of knowing their own energies, their own emotions. I feel like when you deal with these people, you pick up their stuff, you pick up their energies, you pick up their emotions, their anxieties, their fears. And if that's not what level you're on, it starts crashing and you feel like irritable. You feel like, once again, fight or flight. And so I just, like I said, I've just been isolated, not isolated myself because I connect with my people. But as far as like hanging out and doing fun things with other people, I've been just, disconnected from that. 'Cause like I said, I feel people's energy. And of course, this is something that people talk about a lot, y'all. But for me, it's really extreme. Like there's moments where I feel, I can give a good example today. I'm feeling good. I go to a store and they have this new thing that I wanted to sample. And I actually bought it, and I ended up throwing it in my shopping cart, and I checked out, and I remember actually getting into my car, and I remember putting it in my car. And finally, when I got home, like I'm excited, like, oh, I'm about to try this. And it wasn't there. And so I'm like, where the hell could this item have been? And y'all, it really like took a lot out of me. Like I really, it had me feeling low. Where it's like, damn, like, did I drop it? If I did drop, why didn't nobody say anything about it? And that's the only reason. I mean, that's the only, thing of why it could happen. Then I start thinking about the people. Like, damn, so somebody seen me drop it because there was a lot of people. They didn't say, hey, excuse me, you forgot your thing. They're like, bitch, fuck it, let's keep it. And even going into the store, I went back to the store and they were like, yeah, it's not here or whatever. And I just was thinking about it for a minute. And in that moment, like I literally, I guess, kind of zoned out thinking about it a little bit. And I had to like slam on my brakes because I really, it wouldn't have been like a big hit, but it'd have been like a little tap. I mean, tapping into the back of someone's car because we were already stopping. But I guess I didn't stop sooner. So I had to like literally go skirt, just a little bit. But I was just like, yeah, just like I said, ideas, thoughts, feelings, energies, people's anxiety, people's fear. Like I feel that. And me personally, and I tell you guys this is with emotional and mental maturity. Day to day, like every single day, every like so often, I cannot deal with people who are in a state of fear, in a state of what they call survival mode, right? I have to survive. I have to this, I have to that. Because I feel like that's already in us. That's like an innate energy in those who are mentally, stable and secured. I think that some people, and I was one of those persons. I used to be like over anxious, over like, oh my God, it was just crazy. I would drive myself crazy. I'd have to talk myself out of being anxious and being in that state of energy. And so, like I said, y'all, and I did a little bit of like research on it too, because I was like, I've never, like, I feel like the older I'm becoming, the more heightened my gifts are and the more like sensitive I am to energy. And like I said, it's to where I have to like cut off myself from family and friends. Like I cannot deal with them every day. I cannot deal with them, every week. I cannot deal with them even, twice a week. I tell myself it has to be some type of time, some type of interaction where I do deal with, family and friends. And that's what I'm gonna say too, because I had to like ask, like I said, my outside sources, right? Therapists and even like people that I've, talked to but we're not like close. Like when I deal with people on day to day, like randomly high and by and this and that, I don't feel any type of like irritation or any type of like aggressiveness. Like I feel really relaxed. I feel safe. I feel good. When I'm with certain people, and this could be people that are like extremely anxious, they're worrying a lot, they're always thinking, they have their ups and downs, meaning that, you know, one moment they might be feeling really, really good, next one they might be in a state of fear, next minute they might be interested in, you know, doing home stuff, then the next one they're thinking about going out and partying. Like I feel that stuff, y'all. And like, let's say it really fucks with me, it really fucks me up to where even I come home or, you know, I'm done hanging out, and I'm like feeling aggressive or I'm feeling something in me. I'm like, what the hell? And I told you even about, you know, the situation that I had, why we would say most of 2025 where, you know, normally I would have interactions with people with just myself and, you know, everything seems cool. Everything seemed, you know, copacetic. Everything seemed very calm and relaxed. But then, of course, I would hang out with, you know, friends or people with, you know, the same energy. And then I would have a bad experience. So I'm just like, wait, what's going on? Like, you know, and then I told y'all even, you know, a couple of weeks ago, something really happened where I was like, what the hell? Like when I'm not in public, like I'm not in that mood to be like, ooh. But it was like an energy transfer where I was like, something that someone is feeling, something that someone is dealing with internally, I'm feeling that. And I'm feeling that and it's amplifying within me. And now I'm getting in that combative mode. And like I said, that's not me. Okay. I don't have anger issues. Like I said, that's why I have to, you know, get a therapy appointment and stuff. And so for me, like I said, to keep myself grounded, to keep myself in my, you know, my you know, safe space. And, you know, I have to put up boundaries. And like I said, boundaries is okay. I can deal with people, you know, certain people at certain times and certain days. It cannot be all day, every day. If I do feel like we're in that energy to where I'm feeling really, really good and they're feeling really, really low, you know, respectfully be like, hey, unfortunately, you know, I'm not able to hang out, or unfortunately, I cannot, you know, be on the phone and blah, blah, blah. And I think it's even a little more challenging as well when you deal with people, right? You have your work, like my work, I'm dealing with people, I'm dealing with clients. So I'm always experiencing different emotions at all given times. And then to like be done with that and then interact with family and friends. And it's kind of the same energy. And there's even times, y'all, where I was sitting here and I'll be thinking about, why am I debating with people over shit that doesn't really matter to me or them? Like whether or not the sky is blue or purple, that doesn't affect me or this person. But we'll get into this. And like I said, it's not just one person, but multiple people. I'm like, why are we getting into a debate that really doesn't apply to us anyway? Or we're fighting over assumptions and shit. So it's just like, wait, what? To where even I catch us both saying, or, you know, all of us saying, both, because of course I'll have like one-on-one conversations, or we'll be like, I'm not trying to argue, but blank, blank, blank. But I'm just like, but I don't have to be right. And I'm willing to be educated on something I don't know. But I notice with people, and like I said, it's multiple people, different people, when they are corrected on something, and I don't be like, hey, stupid, that's not how you say it, or that's not what it is. I'll say, hey, you know, this actually means that. Then they'll feel like, wait, what? And, you know, now we're getting in a state where it's like, woo, 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 woo. So I'm just like, yeah. Last year we did things. This year we did, you know, this year we're 3 weeks in. Just, you know, here on out for the rest of the year, like I said, I'm just gonna, you know, move the way I move to keep myself mentally healthy, keeping myself, you know, like I said, in my, you know, stress-free, you know, low stress, low, you know, anxiety mode. I'm not someone who live in fear. I'm not someone who live in a state of worry. If I ever feel like I'm, you know, something is going on outside of self that may put me in a certain energy, I go within. And so I'm taking all that in. And like I said, I'm really taking that serious, you know, this year. And even going into it as well, like there's people, and, you know, people I've known some people for some time, but they've never met me or they've never known me like on a personal level. So I feel like this is a new thing for me. And I'm like, my mom, friends who've known me for a long time could tell you that I've had moments where they were like, hey, you know, where's this bitch at? or I haven't heard of this bitch. Everything okay? Like I get in that zone. I be so ambitious, so driven. Or I'm like, girl, unless we're in the same energy, like we're in the same era, means same energy. Like you're a business owner, I'm a business owner. You're trying to, advertise. I'm advertising. Like if we're not on that same energy, oh honey, when I'm outside of that energy, I could deal with you because I don't want to be taking my focus off of something else to focus on something else. You know what I mean? Like I believe what you put your mind on, it does manifest. And like I said, some people are like, hey, it's kind of, crazy that, I was in close contact with you for this period of time. And, I was around you when you were doing this type of working. And now that, we're not around each other like that, I feel like, things are like a little more like strict or more distancy. And I tell them like, sometimes you have to get along, you have to move along the yellow, meaning like sometimes you have to do what you have to do to make sure things are happen. I had to move that way because we had to be in that energy together. We had to be in close proximity with each other for that period of time. Outside of that, we don't have to be there. So I'm not going to compromise. And even then, I feel like I was, doing my thing, manifesting and all that good stuff. But I feel like I wasn't at my peak. I wasn't in my fullest potential. Here lately, I've been feeling that. I've been feeling like I am in my full potential. I feel like I am able to like focus and do what I got to do. And even going into like changing my routine and stuff, because I feel like I don't have to depend on nobody. Nobody have to depend on me. I don't have to, I said I was going to, be there at this time. And that's just not, how I am. I'm very free spirited. And of course, if you don't know what free spirited means, you can look that up. I'm a very, free spirited person, life path number 5. Honey, I don't care for routines and schedules. I don't care for it have to be done at this time and And once again, that's why I have my own car, my own shit. And I live by myself. And so, that's pretty much it, honey. So like I said, I did want to clarify that, honey, everything I said in that video the other day was definitely what it was. I was using terms interchangeably. Like I said, I was definitely feeling exhausted and all that stuff. And I was like, baby, let me get this out the way. And that's something I need to work on too, where I'm like, let me get this done today so tomorrow I can move on to the other things I have to do, right? I need to, get out of that because I could have waited until the next day and I had that conversation. And like I said, what I looked up was, and it's a common thing to y'all, going over with my therapist and then also doing my own little research. Like it's a common thing for people to feel drained by other people. And of course, the person who is hearing that, they may take it as, am I being negative? Or did this person not like me no more? Or how am I being draining? But these other people that they're dealing with, and of course these ideas, these other people didn't want not so draining. It's like, I think closeness, and I think, and I think that they call that something too, divergent. I have to verify that too. It's like, what is it called? Diverted. It's like a divergent. Like it's the personality type where you dodge things that you cannot face, or you should be facing, and you're dodging. I'm like, well, that's definitely not me, and I have to confirm that. And I don't have those traits. But I'm like, yeah, I think that people that you could just say hi and bye to, and they don't know your number, and they don't have any, way of reaching out to you. When you're done, you're done. When you're in a, stressful state, or you're in a high-driven state, I think it's easier to deal with those type of people versus people where you're like, I know they're going to call me because they're going to need something. Or I know they're going to call me, they're going to tell me something that is in an area of studies that I'm not even caring to even hear about right now in this moment. And even sometimes too, and of course this could be a selfish thing, but I'm always willing to take accountability and responsibility for that, is, maybe, I'm not having a good day. Maybe, I'm having an emotional day. Maybe something I experienced, put me in a certain energy, and I can't, or I don't want to hear about anything outside of me calming myself down and getting out that energy. And that's how I am. Like I know people could like get sometimes, and they could be in a mad state and they can get out that state, easily. I can't, honey. We fight that day. We're going to let it cool off and connect the next day or the following day. Baby, I'm not going to push myself to say, it's minor. Let me hear. No. Because then of course I feel like that gets into being, some other things. I think that could stir up a whole bunch of other shit like bipolarism and all that. Like, girl, if you're mad, honey. You don't gotta fake it. You don't want to offend nobody or say, well, being this person's mad, let me keep my distance. I think that's healthy. And so, anyway, like I said, that's where it's at with that. And like I said, it's a common thing. And, don't apologize. Be you, honey. People understand, honey, as grown people. And that's what I've been thinking about, too. I've been thinking about when it comes to people who, let's say, work 12-hour, 13-hour, 14-hour days. And we talk about even like husband and wife who live together. There are husbands and wives out there that will be like, I only see my husband for 2 hours a day, 5 days out of the week. And then the other days, when he's off, we interact, we do things for like 4 or 5 hours. But then, of course, he's falling asleep in the middle of the session. But this person, this woman stays married to this man. I'm like, this is somebody who they're married and they have kids together and they're building something together. So I'm like, for family and friends, I will never, ever be upset or ever be in a space where I will be like, I mean, unless, of course, you're dodging me to go hang out with other people, then, of course, I'll feel some type of way. But, baby, if you're working on your shit, working on your goals, working to get your bag up, whatever, baby, I'm going to understand that. And when you need me or, you're available, call me. And that's that. And so that's how I be thinking about sometimes. People be like, damn, you don't grow me. My mom would sometimes be like, I don't be hearing from you like that. And I'd be like, honey, I'm thinking about goals and I'm going to connect with you. And maybe the first 10 or 15 minutes may be, hey, how you doing? I'm doing good, blah, blah, blah. And then it's instantly, I have to check, blank the other day. So I'm just like, for me, I'm like, always in that energy. I don't want to be in that energy always. My thing is to set my goals and accomplish my goals. Along the way, I check on people, hi and bye, and that's it. But like I said, I don't have to be in that energy long. I don't have to, I don't have to be in your face. You don't have to be in my face. Especially in this moment in time, everybody should always, they should have some type of goals, and be working towards their goals. And so that's where I'm at with that. So I'm like, honey, you're bored, go have fun, girl, live your life, travel the world, But anyway, that's pretty much it, honey. twospiritmissing.blogspot.com, 28spirit8missing@gmail.com. And I want to say this too. I do have two spots open. Oh my God. I do got 2 spots open for a reading. One Sunday, one Monday. Of course, normally people confirm when they send over their money. But sometimes people just send their money over. And this is in person too. They'll send their money over and then they'll be like, hey, I sent money for a reading, but I don't know if I'm going to be available to do a reading on Tuesday or Wednesday. And so I'm like, okay, let me know. But of course, like I said, people have sent emails that I did not get because it's either in spam or it's like somehow, some way down at the bottom. And then I will see it and I'm like, fuck, it's like 2 or 3 days later. I think somebody emailed me and I seen the email like a week later. So I'm like, if you're not confirming, of course it is open. And of course, if anything changes, and usually I do this as well. I think only like once or twice I ever had to change, like last minute say, hey, we're gonna have to postpone the reading. I think like I said, once or twice out of all the readings I've done. But sometimes people do it. So, and even up until the last minute. So unless I get a confirmation back from these people, like I said, these 2 windows are open. And so, of course, if you're interested, you send me an email and I will confirm my availability. Okay. And I'll be back, y'all. I got something, that I'm planning on doing with you all. I've been like organizing, cleaning, throwing shit out, renewing y'all new year, making room for new shit. You know what I mean? And things I'm trying to get done and, and do this year. So, just making way for that energy, all right. But yeah, that's pretty much it, honey. And girl. And as I was telling you, honey, I'm always here to educate. I'm always here to castigate. Let me see, honey. It's been a while since I looked at the word castigation, honey. Let's pull up castigation. I think I'm using that word correctly. It's not crazy when someone kind of like not correct you, but they kind of be like, "Hey, you were kind of saying this in this type of way." It makes you kind of, when you say things, you're like, "Well, let me look it up and make sure I'm saying it correctly." Castigation. I've been using that word for a long time, but let me see. Castigation refers to severe punishment, harsh criticism, or stern reprimandment intended to correct or scold someone, often in a public or loud manner. Oh my God. Castigation and a correction. So let me see something here. What would this be? Well, I mean, I'm not taking it back, girl. I still am castigating the motherfucker. But sometimes people need to be castigated. Like that bitch that I was talking about, girl, weak spirit sugar, and you got the spirit of gluttony over you. Excuse me? Like, girl, the fuck? And then weaker gene and shit. I'm just like, the shit, like, girl, could you imagine? And that's what I be like, girl. Like, listen, I understand everybody. Okay, baby. If you don't like certain people, I understand why you don't like certain people, because I see both sides. I see, the logic and reasoning of it all. If a white person came out and said the exact same shit, or I would say half the shit that people of color be saying publicly, and they don't really catch the backhand for it, they would be like red. They would be considered racist. They'll be considered this and that. NAACP will be called out. There'll be a ban to like get rid of them, defund them and shit. But I'm just like, girl, what is good for the goose is good for the gander. So if a white person came here and said, y'all be out here liking these weaker G people, these melanated people, these people that look like, I mean, let's say that's not correct. Let's say that's the idea they have. Because, bitch, what is right is right, what is wrong is wrong, baby. And everybody's perception is on perception. How would that make you feel? Like, literally, somebody is sitting up here looking like a type C person and comparing weak genes to strong genes. And it's like, girl, what? And so anyway, let me look up this before I say this last piece to be done, honey. Okay, I'm gonna start using the word. I offer stern guidance. There we go. I offer stern guidance. There you go. I still castigate. I still correct. Baby, when you're out of line, I will scold you publicly and in a very loud manner. And of course, people are going to say, well, bitch, you didn't say the person's name. But y'all know who it be, because y'all be in everybody's circle, girl. I was gagged to see somebody I used to deal with back in the day when she got blocked off of PayPal and off my Gmail. But I was kind of gagging to see her in a whole nother different type of spiritual sector. And I was like, girl, what? Is that her really? And I have to click on it to see. And I was like, girl, at this point, girl, you're the problem. At this point, you're the problem, baby. It's not the neighbor. It's not the man. It's not the mama, the dad. It's not the sister. It's not the child protective services. Girl, it's really you. Okay? It's really you. Well, because I'm like, damn, girl, that was like 10 years ago, 2016. I think I first started doing services with them. So we're in 2026. And it's like, damn, girl, you still in the same cycle? Like, what's really going on here, girl? You need a therapist. You need a psychologist. You need somebody to reevaluate what's going on within the psyche, girl. You're not being honest about something to somebody. And you really hold on to some shit and to some pain. And it's attracting the wrong people to you. So I'm just like, girl, what? And of course, girl, it was a free set. So of course they're gonna be in a free set, girl. You know, people don't believe in investing in themselves, girl. And I'm like, I'm okay with that, girl. I'm okay with that, girl, honey. Listen, okay. Most of the shit I consume is organic and or natural. Every now and then I do consume things that are not really considered that, like hot Cheetos. I will eat, every now and then a Chinese food place that I really, really love, but they do not have MSG in their stuff. But when it comes down to me buying things, it's usually organic and natural, no artificial, no preservatives and all that. And some people I know, it's like, damn, $12 for some butter. And I'm like, yeah, but I'd rather, I'd rather get this $12 and pay this $12 for this butter, this good quality butter, and have the vitamin K that I need, and other enzymes that is good for my colon from this butter, than to pay a lower amount and get, fake artificial processed stuff, mostly, oil, and processed fats and stuff. And now I'm having the opposite effect of that. And so I'm like, you get back what you put in. And that's how it is with all of our health. You eat good, you sleep good, you live good. Your body is going to thank you later. When it goes into even the mental body, emotional body, and all that good stuff, all this stuff goes hand in hand. And of course, we talked about it years ago. People just thought I was just another trainer just talking out of her motherfucking ass. And now, baby, you do your research, you see people talking about it. Even people who are not considered psychologists and or therapists, they're talking about how the mental bodies affect the spiritual bodies, which affect the emotional bodies, which affect the physical body. Like it goes hand in hand. So you cannot have one without the other. You cannot have a whole, complete, and that's when they say living a holy lifestyle, right? A holistic approach. The only way to be holy is to have a full alignment of the mind, body, and spirit in the same freaking area. You cannot only work on the physical body, but the inside. What did Beyonce say? It's the soul that needs the surgery. Girl, they getting all this damn surgery on the outside, but the inside is fucked up, girl. That's not going to change your fuck ass thing. And that's how it is with all that. You could pretend, you could act like you could have a nice house, a nice, clean, not organized house. But baby, with emotionals, if the emotions are fucked up, if the mental is fucked up, girl, you're going to break, you're going to crumble, and other people are going to see that shit. So baby, I'd rather have a disorganized, shit everywhere type of house, girl. When I'm in that hustle grind mode, girl, that's what it is, girl. Throw shit up, take off my clothes, just throw it on the floor and shit, girl. Hey, it's my motherfucking house. Hello. But when I'm not, okay, baby, I keep organized. But baby, the mental body and emotional body is always being checked. It's always in alignment, honey. Hello. It's always being in the place that it needs to be, and it's always being in what they say in order. And so that's what it comes down to. A lot of people are, physically maybe in order, but mentally and emotionally, they're not in order. And this is why things are not working out for them. And even in the sense of the mind being God, and everything else is just, subservient to that. If the mind is fucked up, the emotion is fucked up, the personal experiences are going to be fucked up. And that's that, honey. And of course, your mind is your mind, but your ways of thinking is going to attract either the opposite of what you are or those who are on that motherfucking frequency. Meaning, if you have a prey mentality, you're going to have a lot of predators coming after you. If you have a predator type of mentality, you're going to have a lot of prey, that comes to you. And of course, depending on what type of predator mindset this person is, because predatory or predator behavior is survival, right? You're going to either, gently, nourish your prey and hey, I'm gonna keep my distance. I know you're a little weaker than, but hey, I'm gonna build you up on all the good stuff. Or you're gonna say, hey, I'm gonna prey upon these individuals. I'm gonna keep the weak. I'm gonna keep them dumb, and whatever they give me, I'm gonna take from them. And that's really what a lot of people are doing, girl. That's how to keep my motherfucking distance. Anyway, that's it, honey. Bye for now. Love and light. And I gotta finish doing what I'm doing here. Bye for now. Love and light.